Did not see that coming. In the video today, guys, we're going to go over the announcement, talk about how all the good stuff about it, who it benefits, players to watch out for. I'll name one or two, kind of point you in the direction of where you should be shopping, who this is aimed at, what the agenda is behind it, and I think that'll pretty much cover it. Stick around, I hope you enjoy. Now guys, I expect you've read this. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm not a narrator, okay? But this is the best image. Wow. Look at how good... Oh, look at my wee hair. Look at how good July and August, back end of July and August looks. All the gold match days we've got coming our way. The media, the fucking media madness, the 5 times IPDs, cash drops, every game's a gold match day. It's... wow, there's tons of money out there. There's tons of money that's actually on the table right now. It's a great promotion. I think, you know, now I don't think this is for us, right? Okay, I don't think they've done this. If you think they've done it because they see Twitter comments and that kind of thing, I'm going to say you're probably mistaken. They've been sitting on a lot of money, quite notably, that they wouldn't have shelled out through hundreds of advertising. They've obviously, I think we all know they had a big plan for the summer before the COVID happened to really splash out in the summer for the Euros, make a big deal about everything. And I think this is a lot of the money they've been sitting on. And they maybe just thought, let's just cash a lot of that in the now. Look to capture new customers is the main thing here, okay? Look to capture new customers. IPD's been sexy like this. 5p, 2p, 5p a goal and assist, 10p for a defender goal. You know, it's 5p a clean sheet. If you're bagging goalkeepers now and you're like, oh crap, I've not actually got PB for them yet. 5p a, you know, I've been, oh, look at this. Now, I've been like gearing my portfolio and my mindset towards this kind of thing for a while, thinking like, or you know, I'll buy players now, try and capture the Champions League IPDs that are on go, back end of the season IPDs, use, and the way I've always used IPDs, right, it will change for this promotion because they're just so huge, is to clean as much of the commission out of the equation as possible. You know, the more IPDs I can capture, number one, the bigger the spike can potentially be when I'm getting out the other end. But number two, if it is a longer hold, if I've already captured like 5p in IPDs old, you know, or normal promotion, then if I'm holding a £2 player, there's a good chance all my commission's gone, you know. So I can look at the actual figures in the portfolio. I bought them for this price, and if I sell them for this and now, that's my clean profit. And that's what I've always liked about it, you know. I think he's been here around long enough to know that. So to that end, I picked up Duvan Zapata. He's got 4 IPDs for us already, 3 goals and an assist, which is brilliant, you know. And David SoRare, we've picked him up, and we've got 2 clean sheets out of him, I think, maybe 3. I know it's 55p there, but we had 35 and then we bought some more, so I think we might have had 3. I might be wrong. And Mikel Merino we managed to get a goal out of as well, which for the kind of midfielder he was, we were quite chuffed with that at the time. But now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, so the promotion, well, it should encourage you to trade, okay? Now, where it's not going to really encourage you to buy is in the bid zone, because good chances are a lot of the growth that was stimulated by this will be in action. You know, if like Dybala hits a hat-trick or Ronaldo scores 2, sets up 2, that kind of thing, you will see some prices run away, because, you know, having 40p guaranteed if somebody has a crazy night like that, never mind maybe the following day's media, depending on who we're talking about and the situation. Is it winning a semi-final, winning a final, you know, that kind of thing. So, but those that, you know, of course, for the growth to come, it has to be market buys, which I was saying this in a tweet the other night, is Football Index really need to incentivise us to buy from them, because if you think about it, once the sell queue is removed, then the price that's there on the screen, only Football Index are getting that. You know, we've always kind of had a wee moan about that sometimes, just when it is a pure peak and then a flop down, that they are the only one that capitalised truly at the top point. But now it's just every point, you know, like the market price is only Football Index, because if we are going to be, I was asking people, I was like saying, listen, how can this work if it doesn't work the way it obviously probably will? Because I don't think that's going to really do anything for the market or for us. And nobody could really give me anything, which I was disappointed about. It's not that, it's just I can't think of anything, nobody else could think of anything, so it must be probably, the most obvious, boring shit thing it's going to be. But now, if they, obviously for the foreseeable, through the promotion, there's a lot of incentive to buy off Football Index, you know, so I expect a lot of prices to move as football kicks in, and you know, guys are scoring hat-tricks or getting free assists a game. You know, I've got guys in my portfolio now that I've held for ages, and I thought, right, I might sell them at this point and do this and do that and whatever. But I've got Aranguiz at 50 pence, and if he gets, you know, he's got Rangers in the Europa League, and then you know, Leverkusen, Havertz, they should do well. If he gets like 3 assists across 2 games, or a goal and an assist, or you know, whatever, then I could get a lot of my money back on the hold. You know, it's not entirely beyond the realms of possibility, depending on how far they go and how successful they might be in matches. It's somebody as cheap as that at 50p, or even somebody like a Weghorst at £1, you know, depending on the run they have, of course, and how everything traps in. A lot of these guys will do a lot of damage to their price at the lower end, which is, I suppose, what we all want, I guess. But the point of me explaining that is a few things. Number one is there's an angle to everything. This isn't, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they're not a social enterprise, Football Index, they are a business, you know, so their motivation for doing this is to get us trading, of course, that's very obvious, right? But I think there's also a big motivation, and I think when the Champions League does come back on, I think we will see an advertising ramp up, and that'll probably be the next thing they tell us that they're doing. They want all of us to be super happy on Twitter, we all want to be best friends, we're all getting along nicely, and they want people to come into sexy numbers, 5p a goal, 10p a goal for, you know, I'm just trying to think of a really good goal scoring centre back there, you know, Ramos, or oh, it's pure escaping me now. It's a pure obvious one, I know there is. It's just, my mind's just went blank as soon as I've put myself on the spot like that. But you know, having those big eye-catching numbers, and then people go, oh, will you hold these for 3 years? You've already made 50p a share on a player that's £1.20 that you bought. Now he's £2, or you know, whatever. That's what they want. I think this is going to be a big opportunity for them to capture a new audience, to gain more customers. I think we will hear a lot more about advertising. So I say it's nice that we are getting something, you know, for being here early and all that kind of stuff, and being on the platform now. But I think this is the main motivation, and why we've got the time periods that we have on these promotions, is it's all about customer acquisition, as well as try and capture new money, or get people to churn through their portfolios again. So I hope to see a lot more advertising stuff. I'm sure they'll do a little announcement to signify as much. Now guys, I have never ever been so tempted to go premium top end before, ever, on the Football Index. I'm looking at Mbappe, I'm looking at Neymar, I'm looking at the top 5 players there for Man United, and I'm thinking, especially even Martial. Martial doesn't have the media, you know, but he's got the goals and assists, and you know, depending on whose turn it is, you know, they all seem to take turns, Greenwood, Rashford and Martial, who's scoring the hat-tricks or who's doing the best. But that top 5 at Man United, you have to, even Harry Maguire, potentially goal scoring centre back from a set piece or something like that against weak opposition. They've got Lask Linz, they're 5-0 up. Why make them play a second leg? It's absolutely mental. And then with the way the tree pans out, you'd expect them to get to the semi-final quite easily. They have Basa Shakir or Copenhagen next, and then it should be a semi-final of Man United, probably against Wolves, Roma, or Wolves, Roma, or Sevilla. I'd like to think it'll be Wolves. I'd love to see them do well, but it could easily be one of the other 2 teams, of course. But with the media, the 5 times IPDs, all gold match days, blah blah blah. If you've been thinking about having a Man United player, one of these top guys especially, now is the time. Now is the time to do it. I would love to do it myself. I just don't have any liquid really at the moment, to be honest with you. So that's me. I want the plums. I've got another 2 or 3 I'll drop on you. Is a former hold, Romelu Lukaku, now at 192 today. He's on a bit of a low actually. From last time I bought on him was about 180, I want to say, and then did I get to 234? I think I maybe got about 220 odd about February time. But he's really plateaued back down here, sub £2 levels. And you know, Getafe in a one-off game, gold match day. Won't be a high scoring game. I think Getafe will keep it tight. If Inter are going to score, he's more than likely to be the man that does it, or maybe just a knock on assist, you know, a rebound, or you know, deflected pass, that kind of thing. Then it's Leverkusen in the next round. That's a tough game, but then after that you'd expect them to win the semi-final should they get past Leverkusen, and then in the final they've always got a good chance. So this guy's got a great opportunity to get to the final of the Europa League. He's 27. You know, it does feel a bit older sometimes, I'll give you that. Euros next year. He won't be at Inter Milan the rest of his career. You know, he'll probably be there next season, of course. Just from the way things stand now, and he's got he's got Euros, World Cup, Belgium. You know, so having this guy with 5 times IPDs when he could easily, over those fixtures I've just gave you, Getafe, Leverkusen, the semi-final. Let's just say it's most likely going to be, you know, Shakhtar or Wolfsburg is probably a most likely. So against them, and then probably Man United in the final. Could he get you 3 goals and an assist, 40p? Of course he could. That's close to 25% of his price on IPDs. You know, if he was to achieve that, of course. 18 plus, gamble responsibly. Blah blah blah. Now, on the side of the Champions League drawn that's known, I'm very torn because I've had a soft spot all season for Leipzig and Atalanta. Madrid and Paris are both the favourites. I personally, I see Atletico Madrid getting to the final. You know, that's just my own opinion. You know, Atalanta have not got. You know, it's just such a tight half. But anyway, if I had to pick one player out of that side that I'd be buying right now, I'd probably be going for Sonderguez. If Athletic are going to get by RB Leipzig, which I think they probably will without Werner, I don't think they're going to have the firepower or the teeth to really open up Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. So the game is going to be won and lost really in midfield, how often possession turns over, who's scoring the goals, who's hitting in the free kicks, who's hitting the corners, who's making the passes, the tackles, the shots, all that kind of thing. And at 131 at the moment, I think he's great. In my opinion, great chance to get into the Champions League final. He's 25, he's well thought of, he's well linked, you know, to moves and whatnot. With it looking like Thiago's going to Liverpool, you know, that might be a sliding doors effect for somebody else who might have been in for him potentially. But this guy, I think if you can get 5 times IPDs on this guy, if they do get to the final, they get by Leipzig, they get by PSG or Atalanta, and they get to the final against whoever it may be, 3 goal days. Atletico Madrid don't score, you know, they're not a big scoring team. This guy's he's heavily involved in what they do. You know, you've got a good chance that he's going to be playing 90 minutes. He's going to be taking set pieces and that kind of thing. And at 131, I think you've got a great opportunity to grab about at least 30 pence in IPDs. There's a great chance of capturing. I'll say it again, which is about just under a third really of his price, isn't it? Just under a quarter, something like that. 30p. Yeah, just under a quarter. So, and again, it's not on top of any potential best midfielders or anything like that as well. So I think he at 131 is absolutely a great purchase right now. Now I think out of the other half of the treat, I'd probably make Bayern favourites to get to the semi to play against Juve, Real or Man City. And you know, Lewandowski of course is going to score a barrel full of goals. Alphonso Davies, very handy. Kimmich, very handy. I even think Leon Goretzka is a great little shout. But at £1.19, Thomas Müller is Mr. Bayern. They've had a great season. He's more than likely going to start most of the games, if not them all. His whole career, he's been a big game player. And I fancy Bayern to get to the semi-final. I expect to make it past Chelsea, of course. And then, you know, I can see them getting by Napoli or Barca relatively. I'm confident to say I predict that. You know, fair enough, Barca could beat them, maybe Napoli could as well, but I don't see it. So that by default leads me to think they're more than likely going to play more games. And at £1.19, 5 times the dividends, just 5 times the dividends on the IPDs. You know, if again, you know, the goals Bayern score, the amount of them. If they do welly Chelsea, because it's a dead rubber for Chelsea, there's no chance of turning it over. If they do welly Napoli or Barca in the next round, even if only one of them happens, let's say they 1-0 Chelsea 0-0, and then the next game, you know, if they score 4 or 5 goals, this guy's definitely going to be involved, whether it be with a goal and an assist, maybe 2 assists, maybe 3 assists and a goal, you know, whatever it might be. So at £1.19, you've got a great opportunity there to really clean off a good bit of the price on it, just on pure IPDs. And by virtue of the IPDs happening, price rockets, you can capture some, sell for profit. It's all about trading, you know, it's all about trading. You don't always need to, I say this all the time, it's not always about actually capturing the dividend itself, but having that available to the hold makes it more valuable to somebody else who you wanted to sell it to, you know, and that's what it's all about. So even though you might not plan to hold them for 3 years, you might even just plan to hold them for 6 months, a year, in the first month, but if you can clean 30-40p in dividends, then why wouldn't you, you know? I think he could be great. Lewandowski, Alphonso Davies, Kimmich, Goretzka, of course, Pavard, all great holds from Bayern Munich. Neuer, you know, but I think Tommy Müller for me is good fun. you know, good fun. Not really much of a downside, if any. Sorted. So guys, I hope we get the marketing boom that I'm kind of hoping that they roll out for us. I hope what this does is proves to them that they can keep IPDs at this bit, you know, this size, and we can keep them there forevermore, because like I said in the little tweet thing I mentioned earlier on, it's like they have to incentivize us to buy from them, because if they are remaining, you know, they are selling all the time, they're setting the price is moved by how many they sell, then they have to give us a really good reason to buy off them in an urgency. Because obviously if you want to play the longer game, you can put a bid in, leave it there forever and worry about it, but while something like this is on, or while somebody is hot in form, you want those IPDs and you want them now. You can buy them up to midnight. So when the IPDs are rolling in, you're not going to get people doing the IS, doing the matching engine, I would imagine, as much anyway. When you have the option to bid up, you know, down the way, maybe you might see a bit of that happening, because the sale queue will be gone. But I suspect it will, by virtue, if they keep it at this level, and I think this is really what they're testing as well in terms of their own agenda. I think they're testing like how much dividends, how much could IPDs drive market prices, you know. So they then run into a wall at the other side of this promotion, when they say, right, we're going back to 1p and 1p and 2p and 1p. What happens then? So they're setting themselves a risky position where it could backfire if they go back to type, if they go back to where we started. I think this will see an overall increase in IPDs. I don't think it'll be quite what it's at now, but I think they will use this to rejig and revamp. Exactly, but the numbers are great. 5p's and 10p's, please keep it that way, or more, that'd be lovely. But I don't think it will. But I think we're going to get this for good. I said before when we had the Summer Media Madness that I thought that they would then, I suspected that was a test to either reintroduce on a regular basis or make a permanent fixture, just more media places. They'll try to judge exactly how much would they be spending, how much does it stimulate the market, risk versus reward, benefit does it have, you know, that kind of thing. Excellent, guys. Listen, if you've enjoyed me babbling, if you've got anything you want to ask or anything you want to add to the conversation, to the dialogue, comment section below, get stuck in there. If you are new around here, please make sure you do like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.